Hello everyone, here are 10 things I wish I knew when I started Monster Hunter Wilds. First is the customizable tabs. This is an absolute game changer. Instead of having to filter through the tabs to go through and find all the necessities that you want, you can simply just put them all on one page. And this is huge for someone like me. I've got a wife and 4 kids, so the most important factor in pretty much all video games is the pause button. All I have to do is press the options button and then the X button. That's it. I can immediately pause the game even mid-fight to go help my family with whatever it is that they need. This is a great place to also put things like the crafting menu and photo mode as well. Customize this to fit your experience best and save yourself a whole lot of time from filtering through the very detailed menus. Tip number 2 is the auto lock-on feature. I cannot tell you how much I hate this feature. I picked up the bow for the first time in Monster Hunter Wilds, and this feature is extremely annoying, especially when you don't know what's causing it. Basically, just imagine you're fighting a monster, and then as you go to see the other small monsters join the fight, so you focus them down first, but you can't. The game literally fights you and forces you to go through and target the priority monster. This is the auto lock-on feature. Additionally, there's also aim assist, so if you really want to have full control of your experience and your hunter, turn both of these off. Turning them on can be helpful, especially for new players, because it can go through and help you navigate and follow the monster's movements. But if you've got any experience with Monster Hunter or just video games in general, and you're decent with tracking different characters across the screen, then just do yourself a favor and turn this stuff off. You'll thank me later. Then tip number 3 is all about the map. The Sacred is amazing for traversal throughout the zones, but the fastest mode of travel is fast travel. A quick way to navigate to your preferred hunts is to open the map, select the world map option, then press confirm on your desired location, and then again. This can even be used in hunts if you're in a bad situation and you need to head back to camp to restock. Just go through and open up your map just as you think you're about to get carded, teleport back to your main camp, stock up on potions, and then revisit your hunt. There's not really any downside here, minus the small lack of time you'll lose for traversing back and forth. Then a side note here for the maps as well, the maps rotate, both the mini-map and the standard map, which can be quite annoying, especially if you're going through looking for a specific resource or just trying to get a general idea of where it is that you are. But you can actually go through and fix both the mini-map and the map, meaning they don't go through and move, so if you just know your directions north, east, south, and west, no matter where you are on the map, you'll know if you go north, you'll get to X location, versus it constantly spinning in a circle, which just seems disorienting and kind of annoying because you never really know where you are. And every time you open up your map, based on where you are, it's going to look different. So just fix this and it will make navigating significantly easier. Then for tip number 4, it's all about your item bar. If you hate having to constantly filter through your item bar to find something specific, all you need to do is press left on the D-pad, and then it's the touch bar on the PlayStation, and it'll pull up an expanded item bar. You can easily navigate through all the different items that you have in your inventory. This can be very useful for using things like pawns, traps, or anything you need exactly in the moment versus having to manually filter through one item at a time. Then tip number 5 is all about item loadouts. Having to head back to camp and restocking for each hunt can be a huge deterrent for some. It's always been a staple of Monster Hunter, but Monster Hunter Wilds has added loadouts, which simplifies the process. You can just have one standard one, or you can create a bunch of different loadouts for different scenarios. Basically what you want to do is you want to add everything you want in your loadout in the item selection in your tent. Make sure your inventory only has what you want to have with you on every single hunt, and store everything else that you don't want in your actual stash. Then navigate over to your items loadout and register this loadout. What this will do is every time you come back to the tent, select this loadout. When you do this, it will automatically fill up everything that's in your loadout. So for example, it'll top off all your potions, restock your traps, give you extra supplies. Basically, it's going to give you everything that's in your loadout as long as you have some of them in your stash. And then for everything that's in your inventory currently that's not included in your loadout, it will automatically store it away from you. Basically, what this does is it just automates the process and saves you the time for having to go through and manually put away and look through each item. It's just a quick couple of buttons and you automatically stock back up and ready for your next hunt. Now, speaking of saving time, let's talk about tip 6. You know how there are traders throughout the game where you could find in different villages? Well, once you complete the first mission after you complete the story, Nada becomes your best friend. He acts as a replacement for all of the traders in the game, meaning instead of having to navigate to each area to check for trades, all you need to do is come to Nada and he can make it all happen and let you see everything all at once. So definitely make sure you check in with him often. Now, speaking of checking in, let's discuss tip 7. Always check back in for your shipments. They often sell valuable items and they can even sell weapons. You can also even tell them what to bring back for you on the very next trip, so you could potentially get some very valuable items by simply just taking advantage of this passive merchant. Now tip 8, let's talk about pop-up camps. You will often be out in the wild and you'll hear, this place looks like a great place to set up camp. Then you look over and sure enough, it could be a great base location, but oftentimes as you're passing the location, you may already be in the middle of a hunt and just can't be bothered to stop by to set up a tent. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure that's most of us. Instead, once you've discovered a location in the wild, come see this merchant in the base camp. They help manage all your base camps and can even build them for you once that location has been discovered. So discover the camp while hunting, then casually come see this NPC and unlock them all at once. You can also see whether this camp is easily broken or whether it's safe from monsters. Now, a side tip for camps. If you place down a barrel at your pop-up camps and you're using any form of weapon that requires some sort of charge to maintain, to keep your damage up, then go through and swing by your camps while you're on your hunt or as you're going from one area to the next. You can actually hit this barrel to maintain your charge. Basically, it'll just keep your charge meter topped off. Now, tip number 9. When it comes to combat, the game really tries to hold your hand and makes things easier to manage since there are so many systems, but sometimes that can actually cause more harm than good. Much like the camera auto lock-on feature, auto sheathing may be a welcome change for some, but there's been countless times where I've been in battle and the game just puts away my weapon as I start to move, and I would much rather be in control. I would rather choose to put it away when I'm ready, so turn this off if you want to have more control over your actions in combat. Lastly is tip number 10, which also focuses on combat. This is the camera distance zoom feature. When you encounter large monsters, and even when you're up close, you just can't see a lot of different monsters. But changing this feature will zoom the camera out so you can not only see more of the monster and its movements, but also more of the environment, which can make it easier to set up traps with environmental objects. Alright, well, those are the top 10 things I wish I knew when I first started playing Monster Hunter Wilds. If you enjoyed today's video, then please consider leaving a like and subscribe for future Monster Hunter Wilds content.